All right. Hello, everybody. I'm sitting down here with Cassandra Lindsay. She is the founder of Nourish Freely, and I'm super excited for you guys to get to know her a little bit and get to know Nourish Freely as well, and hopefully just a great resource for you and a chance to maybe work with her in her program as well if you feel like some of the things that we talk about resonate with you. So, Cassandra, my first question for you is just, will you tell us a little bit about you, who you are, and then what inspired you to start Nourish Freely?
Yes, I'd love to. And first, just want to say thank you for letting me be here today and kind of share about me and what we do at Nourish Freely. So a little bit about me is my background is definitely in the health, fitness, healthcare world. I have training, my undergrad's in exercise science. I have a master's in occupational therapy, and I've been working in the healthcare world for about 4 or 5 years now. And then on top of that, I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner. So that allows me to do what I do here at Nourish Freely. But the reason I started Nourish Freely kind of goes back to my own health struggles. My 20s were filled with a lot of challenges. It was not a vibrant time of life for me in my 20s. It was lots of different symptoms that went unexplained for a long time. I had really bad cystic acne. I was exhausted all the time, really suffering from fatigue and relying on sugar and caffeine to get through my day, and many other symptoms on top of those things, from mood swings to chest pain that led me to the ER on one occasion. So just really suffered through a lot of things, and definitely got lost in the world of fitness and nutrition that is often represented in our society today. Was a chronic fitness junkie, did everything from working out every day to running a half marathon to cycling 72 miles in one day, all of it with the hopes of helping me get energy, and it never worked. Also was playing around with nutrition. I really loved nutrition, but my understanding of it was very mainstream society nutrition. So fell in the trap of elimination diets, restricting more foods than I ate, all in hopes of helping get rid of my acne, help my energy, all these, and none of it worked. And it wasn't until I did my own training as a nutritional therapy practitioner that I started understanding what's called root cause nutrition. So understanding nutrition that is very individualized to each person and getting to the root cause of what is causing the symptoms that each person experiences. And through that, I healed every one of my symptoms. So no longer was suffering from low energy. I no longer have cystic acne, mood swings, none of that. And I'm very energetic and have so many good things going for me. And through that, wanted to help other people get the exact same thing. So that's why I started Nourish Freely. And now I help my clients get all the same wonderful results that I got.
Yeah, that's awesome. One thing that stuck out when we first met was just how relatable your story is. I think a lot of people can relate, especially when you talk about trying to restrict certain things and just not knowing really where to turn. But luckily, like, you're passionate about nutrition and like studying that. But not everybody necessarily is, or like wants to, dive deep into that type of thing. So talk to me a little bit about like what's the right type of person that should be looking for to work with you.
Yeah, that's such a great point. You shouldn't have to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars to get the education to do these things. So I'm definitely glad I can be that person for my clients. The people that benefit from what I do is anybody who's struggling with a symptom that is been unexplained, that they've been told is normal. A lot of my clients go to their doctors and are told that it's normal, that they're just going to live with it. And that is a very frustrating thing to be told. So anybody who kind of falls in that, I do help a lot of people with energy issues that are relying on like sugar, caffeine to get through their day, who wake up in the morning and have no energy. They take naps, people like those, that's definitely people I serve. And then digestive issues are another big area. So anybody who's struggling with like chronic diarrhea, constipation, unexplained bloating, gas, heartburn, all those things, those are clients that I serve. But there's other symptoms that people can have too that I'll help with, but those are kind of just some of the main ones.
Yeah, so people who have symptoms of like lack of energy or digestive issues especially, this is the perfect person to be talking to. And that could mean men, women, people of all ages. Is that right?
That is correct. I can help with all of that.
Awesome. So let's dive like a little bit deeper and get like into the more of the details. What does it look like to actually work with you? Like, what does your program entail? Can you walk us through what that looks like a little bit?
Yeah, I offer a 3-month program. So I work with my clients for 3 months, and it is very personalized and focused on helping them get the results they want. So it starts with clients answering a bunch of assessment questionnaires that helps me really understand what's going on in their body, what health struggles they're having, what their goals are, all those things. It's pretty in-depth. And then from there, our first session is a 90-minute call where we're getting even more in depth of those assessments that they filled out. We're going more into like what their goals are, and getting more into like the symptoms they're experiencing and how that impacts everyday life. And then we are also creating the plan or protocol to get the healing that they want. So that first session's the most in depth. It's a pretty long one. And then after that, we're meeting every 2 weeks to kind of check in, how's it going, what's not going well, what could be going better, update the plan as needed. And then we do that for over a 3-month span, and people have pretty good results and get exactly what they came for. And I also provide texting support in the meantime. So there's a lot of accountability because we know that nutrition and health is overwhelming. So I try to provide as much accountability for my clients as I can.
Yeah, that's awesome. Accountability is so key. But it's also key to have a really personalized approach based on dietary restrictions or just simply preferences when it comes to the diet. So you mentioned that you go through a pretty in-depth questionnaire, which I had the pleasure of going through. It is really in-depth. Like you definitely get a lot of the details, things that I hadn't even thought about ever before until the questionnaire kind of prompted me to really dig deep. So talk to me about how you actually personalize it. You are creating an individualized plan for everybody. Is that right?
Yes, it's very individualized. So I'm taking not only the assessment that's completed, but just getting to know you by asking you very targeted questions, learning more about what's truly going on, and then getting pretty specific into a plan. So it is a lot about, we talk about food, of course. What are foods that you need to bring in to help with the healing process? Sometimes I do have clients eliminate certain foods if we know there's a trigger food so that we can heal, and then we're going to integrate that food back into their diet. From there, we keep going through this process, and it is very individualized. So the whole process is individualized. We also will maybe do some supplements. I do a lot of supplements with my clients to get even more individualized into the healing, because we know that everybody's healing looks completely different. You can have the same symptom as somebody else, but it can come from a very different issue. So every part of the process is individualized to kind of what's going on in their body, so that we can get the exact healing that the body needs to not have that symptom anymore.
Right. Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about one thing that anyone who's watching this, Reformed Fitness clients, you know that we've probably debunked quite a few misconceptions that you guys have had around strength training or maybe weight loss, but there's misconceptions in the fitness and nutrition space all over. So what are some of the common misconceptions that you see with your clients when maybe they start working with you and by the end their mind has completely shifted into a different way of thinking? What are some common misconceptions?
Yeah, I think a big one is that a lot of people feel like they have to eliminate all these foods. There's a lot of foods in our culture that have been deemed as like inflammatory or just not healthy, but a lot of those foods are actually really healthy for you. Like dairy is one of them. A lot of dairy gets a really bad rep, and a lot of my clients will eliminate dairy because they're like, well, it's probably causing the issues that I have. And while it can be triggering at first, and that's sometimes we do have to eliminate it, it's typically not the problem. There's something deeper going on. So things like that, like so dairy is a big one. A lot of people have aversions to like fats. And so that's a big conversation, especially as women. We were, I know myself, growing up in the 90s, we as women are taught that fats are super bad. So that's another one that I help my clients debunk. And just the general negative feelings we have towards food in general. I think we often are taught that food has more negatives than pros. So just helping my clients understand that a lot of foods, most foods we eat, are going to be healing and really good for us. So just helping restore that positive relationship with food is a big misconception that I help my clients with.
I love that. Something we see so much. Like, there's not really anything such as a bad food. That doesn't really exist. So I love that. We've had a chance to talk a few times, and you've gotten to go through our workouts to see what our clients go through, as far as those efficient workouts and intense workouts, of course. But what excites you based on our conversations around, partnering with Reform Fitness or getting a chance to work with people who are already having a great workout routine? What excites you about that?
Yeah, there's so many things that excite me, but I do talk about fitness and exercise with my clients because it's a very important part of health. We need to be moving to stay healthy. So I already talk about with my clients, but I love Reform Fitness specifically because you guys do strength training. And I know, especially for a lot of the clients I serve, I know if you're over 30, strength training is so beneficial for you. And then a lot of the clients I serve tend to have like some form of hormone imbalance that they're also dealing with. So a lot of the people that see me tend to be really living in like a stress hormone place. Just with the busy lives we lead, it's easy for your stress hormones to kind of dominate. And then if you're dealing with other issues like digestive issues and things like that, hormones are often at play. So because of that, exercise can actually have negative effects in that it can be too much for our hormones, and these stress hormones, specifically like cardio and HIIT exercises, can cause these hormones to kind of overfire again. And when you're trying to help a client kind of decrease those stress hormones, that can be too much. So something I loved about Reformed Fitness is that strength training is a great form of exercise for clients who are struggling with hormone issues, because it's not going to really put a lot of pressure on those stress hormones. So that's just something I'm really excited to partner with Reform Fitness on. With the clients I serve, it truly is something that's going to aid in their recovery and get them the results they want to be better and have the energy they need, versus some exercises can be more detrimental to that energy.
That's right. Like, when someone's going to work with you, they're going to get more out of their workouts because they're working with you. So they're going to have better workouts, they're going to recover more efficiently. So it's really just going to really amplify the results maybe they're already seeing. I love that. Tell us a little bit, just so our clients can get more of an idea. Just tell us a story about a client that's had some success with you recently, kind of where they started and that transition to where they ended up after 3 months of working with you.
Yeah, one client that immediately comes to mind is when she started to work with me. She had pretty chronic diarrhea, so she literally lived in the bathrooms in the morning, and it was impacting her entire morning routine. As you can imagine, if you're having chronic diarrhea, you are not feeling the best, and it is changing a lot of day-to-day structures and habits. So this was true for her. And on top of that, she had really low energy, and she had actually gone to her doctor about it, and her doctor just told her she's a mom. So she's just not going to have energy because she's a mom. And that's not a great thing to be told, and it's not true. Mothers do great things in life, but they shouldn't feel awful all the time because of it. So for her, a big thing was to work on her digestion and energy, and she got amazing results. Within a couple weeks, she was no longer living in the bathrooms every morning. She was actually having a pretty solid bowel movement every day, and slowly was decreasing to just having one, which was a pretty big deal for her. She was having like 6 to 7 a day and went down to 1. So that's pretty amazing right there. And pretty quickly she started to have energy to get through her day. So she was able to engage with her kids in a lot more meaningful ways. She wasn't taking naps as much, which takes away from spending time with her kids and her family. And she was actually able to cook meals again because she had the energy to do so. So she's one that just had really amazing results after working together. And a lot of my clients get pretty similar results.
I love hearing about that because a lot of times people only are prompted to change their diet when they want to make an aesthetic change, when they want to lose weight, or maybe when they want to gain muscle. That's like when they're really prompted to shift their diet. But if you're having other issues like this client that you gave an example of, like shifting your nutrition can be everything that you need in order to start feeling like yourself again. So, and absolutely mothers need energy more than anyone else. They deserve energy. They need it more than everyone else. So,
yeah, of course.
Unfortunately, doctors can sometimes just chalk things up to, oh, that's just normal, when not always the case.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of my clients are told. And I know for myself in my own journey, I was just told it's normal to have these things. And the thing is, it's not. And then once you start feeling better, you realize how good it is to feel good in your body. And that's something that a lot of my clients enjoy, just realizing that their bodies are meant to feel good in and not like a constant battle every day.
That's awesome. Give us some advice to anyone that's maybe watching this that has thought about getting a nutrition coach, or maybe already has a nutrition coach. What do you think that person needs? What type of advice do they need to get the most out of working with you, or working with just a nutrition coach in general? What can they do to get the most out of it?
Yeah, one, just like showing up is like the big thing. Like investing in yourself is so important. I think it's not something that we're taught to do in this world today. It's always like invest in other people, invest in your families, and a lot of times people aren't taught that it's good to invest in yourself and to give back to yourself in that way. I think health is truly the best investment you can make because it's going to live with you your entire life. Your body is the only body you get, so you got to take care of it. So that's definitely my first advice, is just like go put yourself first and go for it, and you won't have regrets. The second one is just to trust the process. I think sometimes there's, as we know, with like same as fitness journeys, there's ebbs and flows, and some days are going to be harder and some days are going to be better. And then one day you're going to have a new challenge you didn't expect. But that's kind of all part of the process of healing, of getting better, of being a better person. So trusting the process and trusting the person helping you through it is also really important.
That's awesome. How can people get connected with you and like get started or learn more about your programs? What's a way to get in contact with you?
Yeah, a great way is going to my website. It's www.nourishfreely.com. So that's a great way just to learn more about who I am and what I do. I also have a newsletter that goes out 2 times a week, and I provide really helpful information there. I talk about nutrition, I talk about lifestyle, talk about health, I talk about all of it. So that's a really good way to kind of get some free information. I'm also on LinkedIn, if that is a place you are. It's just my name. And that's kind of the main places, but I would encourage the best way is truly getting on my newsletter.
Awesome. I'll make sure to put links to your website and your LinkedIn on the email as well. Lastly, is there anything that I didn't ask you that I wish you wish I would have asked, or any last things that you want to say to everybody around working with you, or anything in general?
Yeah, I think you got most of it, but I love working with clients. It truly is the best thing I've ever done. Helping people get the goals that they have for their health and their nutrition, and help people realize that nutrition doesn't have to be overwhelming and confusing and like a chore every day. It can actually be a really joyful thing. Cooking meals can be really joyful and beautiful. All those things I love helping people realize, as well as getting them the results of helping them realize that they don't have to feel like a zombie every day, or they don't have to deal with these digestive issues every day. All those things are something that I love doing, and I love being able to serve my clients in this way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I hope everyone loved watching and hearing from Cassandra. And like I said, the links are all in the email below this video, so you guys can check that out and learn more from her.
Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to do this.
My pleasure.